Welcome back to the podcast and the YouTube show that gets letters from standards and practices, like this one from our friends at Google. Dear Patrick and Brian, can you tone it down a little bit? We don't want to have to throw you off the air with your 24 followers. Hugs and kisses, YouTube standards and practices. My bad? My bad. My bad. Welcome to this week's episode of Wrestling with Egos. I'm Patrick. That's Brian. Bubba, how you doing?
Doing well. Good week, and it's always good to talk wrestling with you.
Of course.
And
It's definitely good to talk wrestling with me.
Lots of good low-key stuff going on in WWE right now that I'm excited to talk about this week.
I agree. We got a lot to talk about this week, but before we do that, we want to obviously plug the socials and all that good stuff. You can check me out on Twitter at Brent Mode on. Brian's at I'm making my own sound effects this week because apparently I got a little too happy with the cat sound effect from last week, although that was awesome. Brian's at bcrego15. You can email the show at wrestlingwithegos@gmail.com. And of course, our little Google site that we have, bit.ly/withegos, because trust me, this show definitely wrestles with egos.
All the time.
Only one. Mine. Let's get into it, Bubba, let's be honest, I got some news that kind of sucks. The now former SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Hardys, had to relinquish the titles due to an injury from Jeff Hardy. Keep in mind, both Matt and Jeff Hardy are on the plus side of 40. They are our age, Bubba. I hate to ask this, but with as many injuries, especially as Jeff has had over the last 18 to 24 months, is this it for arguably one of the greatest tag teams of all time?
I've heard it said on multiple shows, especially when you're talking about football, that availability is your best ability.
Absolutely. Good one.
Yeah, and I think the Hardys are at that point where they have to start looking at, could we contribute more behind the scenes than having a spot, actually on TV, active competitors in the tag division. Because think about all the wonders they could do down in Florida in NXT, for example, mentoring young tag teams. Think of what they could do as agents. Think of what they could do,
I'm going to be on. Go ahead.
Well, if these injuries are going to keep happening, because if it's a shoulder here and a hamstring there, and you come back only to be around for a couple of months, and then you get hurt again, you got to start asking that hard question. And I feel like before the year is out, my prediction on this is you're going to see them formally announcing their retirement, because even if Matt goes and does a singles run, realistically, what does he have to offer?
Right.
We've talked at length about some of these other guys we want to see get a push. I hate to say it, but here's another veteran from the 90s that's taking a spot away from somebody else that maybe is a little more deserving.
I agree. First off, I will disagree with you on one thing. I do not think both of the Hardys are suited for backstage roles. I think there's only one of them that is, and his name is Matt.
Okay.
Jeff, I don't think is suited for a backstage role. Jeff's the daredevil. Jeff's the workhorse of the Hardy of that family. Matt is the mind. Kind of like Edge and Christian. Edge was the Einstein of that team. Christian just did whatever his best friend told him to do. Not taking anything away from Christian. Christian was great, but Edge was on another level, on a level that there's a reason Edge is in the Hall of Fame and was in the Hall of Fame right after he retired, and Christian still isn't.
True.
I'm just going to point that out.
Now, don't get me wrong. I have nothing but respect for the Hardys.
I
I
love
mean,
the Hardys.
I when I got back into wrestling in the late '90s, they were at the forefront. They were the ones doing all these innovative things, and they were bringing all these other tag teams right along with them. Edge and Christian, the Dudleys,
No
um,
Mercy 1999.
in
Edge
Cleveland.
in Cleveland, Edge and Christian and the Hardys in that tag team ladder match for the Terry Invitational. My lord, that
I still
match,
can't get over that seesaw one that got both of them, the two guys in the chin. That
yeah.
Jeff did the flip over and the thing. I still can't get over that
Oh,
one.
I know. I mean, absolutely phenomenal, innovative in so many ways. If it's not for them, we talked about a few weeks. Excuse me, I'm burping here. A few weeks ago, we talked about my homework assignment being Shawn and Razor in the ladder match at WrestleMania 10, and
Yep.
that was where everything started for the ladder match. Matt and Jeff Hardy, along with Edge and Christian, and then the Dudleys, but mostly Matt and Jeff, they showed you what all could be done with a ladder. They were more influential to the ladder match, in my opinion, than Shawn Michaels and Scott Hall.
Agreed.
Hey, we can show you that a ladder match can be a great match. Cool. Thanks, guys. Now we can show you that a ladder match can be the match on the card.
Yes. Because one thing I also do remember watching Shawn and Razor over again was how tentative they seemed with some of the things they were doing.
Right.
And I gave you that inside stuff about they really only had one ladder to work with. So, I mean, that I'm sure limited the stiffness of some of the moves, the steps they were taking.
Right.
Later on when Jeff and Matt came along, it was, okay, we're going
150
to break.
ladders.
Right. And so if one breaks, just get another one. Let's try it again.
Right.
And it's going to be worth it because of the eye-popping moves you're going to see.
Right. And because let's be honest, without Matt and Jeff Hardy, here we are, we're talking WWE like we do every week on this show on Wrestling with Egos, this lean, mean wrestle talk machine. There, you happy?
So happy.
Excuse me. Without Matt and Jeff Hardy, it damn sure ain't no pay-per-view called Money in the Bank. There's no First off, there's no Money in the Bank match. Therefore, there's no pay-per-view devoted to that match like there is now. So without them, Jericho doesn't have the idea for Money in the Bank. This is, if they, if they announce their retirement at SummerSlam, we will see him in Tampa when they go into the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
They are as deserving as anyone else. Because think about it. They're both former world champions. Jeff Hardy literally has held every championship that the WWE has had to offer, except the Universal Championship.
Yeah. There's no question that they're deserving of any accolades that would be heaped on them.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry. Jeff never won the ECW either.
Right.
He never won.
Matt did, but
Matt did. Jeff did not. I mean, light heavyweight / cruiserweight, tag team, European, hardcore, intercontinental, US, world heavyweight, WWE.
My favorite Jeff Hardy match was the one on Raw against Undertaker.
Oh God, yes!
Climb the ladder, kid. I still get chills thinking about that because that was during a very dark period in his life,
right?
With the demons and with the substance abuse and all that kind of stuff. However, for about 30 seconds, you thought, is he actually going to do this? And then Undertaker's like, no. Hold on a second here, sir. But that was
very, very, very good match. One of my favorites that he ever did. So I'm going to be honest. As much as I love the Hardys and have always loved the Hardys, and as much as Impact Wrestling is an absolute cinematic stink bomb, the Broken Universe was absolutely phenomenal. Dude, what more do Matt and Jeff Hardy have to prove?
They really have nothing left to prove.
They're gods.
Which is another reason why I think they could safely go to the office and say, this is probably it for us.
Tell them I'm done for love of the game.
Yes.
Yeah. I just don't. They're an act that I do not want to see hang on for too long. Because, a lot of wrestlers do that. You're like, oh, Big Show. Big Show hung around way too damn long.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, now it's just kind of bad, kind of painful. Kurt Angle. Much respect to an Olympic gold medalist. I did not need to see Kurt Angle and Baron Corbin. Now that I saw Angle at WrestleMania, I'm glad as hell we didn't get Angle and John Cena.
Yeah. And I hate to say
John Cena's good, but John Cena couldn't carry that dude through that match. Hell no.
I hate to say it too, because you know how much respect I have for this man also, but I think Undertaker's the same thing.
Oh yeah, Undertaker's.
I mean, all due respect to the man and his legacy and his accomplishments, but it's time for a proper retirement from him too, I think.
I agree. Let's go ahead and move in to a topic. You wrote the format out this week. We're going to go in a different order, mainly because, as we do on this show, because the show is called Wrestling with Egos, and we have to wrestle with my ego all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the segment in which Patrick puts himself over. And let's talk about the Firefly Funhouse.
Yes, let's
do it. And let me just start off by saying, called it. I'm never going to be that guy that says, oh, I hate to say I told you so. No. I told you so. I told every last one of you. Just give it time. Let it breathe.
And it appears like that's what's happening.
See the point.
Yes, and it appears that that's what's happening.
The conversation with Abby the Witch and her being a sociopath, and that's the word of the day. But you guys forgave me, right? Yay! Dude! I'll always light the way. All you have to do is let me in. It is the same mother bleeping character, except they're taking it in a far more twisted way. And I saw that and was just like, thank you, Lord.
A little side note about last week. I actually showed the Lovebird, the first one, from when he first came back and he was reintroduced. Yes.
Side note to the side note. Wow, it's like a fourth wall break inside of a fourth wall break. It's like 16 walls. Deadpool reference. The Lovebird hates Bray Wyatt. Hates Bray Wyatt almost as much as, I think the bedroom is right above me, the bride-to-be.
And she watched the whole thing, because I went back and rewatched it like you suggested, because there were layers to that I'll admit I didn't pick up on from one.
That thing's got more layers than a pineapple upside down cake.
And every so often I'd sneak a glance over to where the Lovebird was sitting while she was taking this all in. Her jaw never left the table. The whole time. And I'm like jotting down a few notes like, oh, I missed that the first time. And then the segment ended and I turned the DVR off and I put just the news back on or something like that. And she looks at me and she goes, what on earth are they trying to do? And I said, what they're trying to do is they're trying to reintroduce him, but in a completely opposite presentation from before, because we can all agree the presentation from before, it was empty words upon empty words and lost matches and all that.
I'm a god.
Yeah. There's just so much new stuff at work, and then you put that on top of the tweet he sent out this week where he invokes Randy Orton and says, "I forgive him for what he did to me," essentially.
Yeah.
So we're playing mind games, levels upon levels upon levels. Is it live or is it Memorex? And that's, I think, what you need to do. You don't need to drag anybody in yet. Maybe the first move is Randy, but I hope it doesn't happen for like at least a month yet, because there's
Oh
still more
no,
to
no, no,
unpack
no,
here.
no. You gotta let that breathe. Can I be honest? I
I
don't want to
thought you
see.
were always being honest.
I'm always being honest. You're right. This is why I'm a proper villain. I'm like Paul Heyman. I'm a villain, but I am never going to lie to you. I don't want to see Bray Wyatt's ass live and in living color in a ring for 2 months. I want this to go and go and go. And then all of a sudden, bam!
Here I am.
It's about to get heavy.
So
Um,
it would appear that they're doing what we hoped they would do. We both hoped aloud last week that this wasn't just okay, blink and you missed it, and they appear to be setting us up for a long journey,
I'll
which is what something
always,
like this needs.
I'll always light the way. All you have to do is let me in. Oh my God! And the picture that he painted was the compound being burned down, and I was like, oh crap! It's like it's like this really weird horror murder mystery movie
Right.
where from the very beginning, this is how it ends. This right here is how the whole movie ends. Now we're going to
We
spend
haven't gotten there yet.
now we're going to spend the next 90 minutes showing you how we got there. And when it all circles back around, your head's going to do this. Brain matter all over your walls, and you're cleaning up this horse crap for weeks. And I'm just like, please, please. This is
And I'll admit this too. There was a part of me watching last week and this week. I mean, I can't believe I'm about to admit this. I was actually scared about what they were going to do and where it's going. And I guess that means that Bray's doing his job,
yes.
because it was
Point.
unsettling. Yeah,
That's
it
the
was
point.
unsettling to me. Like I shouldn't be enjoying this. This is creepy, this is macabre, this is unsettling, this is giving me the heebie-jeebies. This shouldn't be happening.
This is Hey, gonna be a whole lot of movie references tonight because during the pre-show conversation, Brian and I made a ton of movie references. Dude, you know what this is? What's in the box?
Well, don't shoot
What's in
Lotus.
the box?
We're not going to
That's what
open the
this
box.
is.
I
Well,
know, but
sorry,
not
Gwenny's head's still
we're
in there, baby.
not going to open the box. Okay, I have willpower. I'm not opening the box.
What's in the box?
Ugh.
God, I love that movie.
Ugh.
Hemingway once wrote, "The world's a fine place and worth fighting for." I agree with the second part. Great. Last Line of Seven. Great movie. If you haven't watched it, that's your homework assignment for this week,
No
boys.
kidding.
If you haven't watched that movie, what the hell are you doing with your life? It's one of the greatest movies ever, especially if that's, that kind of that suspense genre is your thing. Keep in mind, I creep Brian out all the time because those are the kind of movies I love, to the point where we've talked about these movies for years and years and years. And the SOB finally broke. It finally broke. And he and the Lovebird got me Hitchcock movies for Christmas.
Hitchcock's a little bit different than Seven. Hitchcock works on a totally different level than Seven does.
Hey, just like the Hardys, without the Hardys, there wouldn't be Money in the Bank. Without Hitchcock, there would not be Seven. Without
Agreed.
Rear Window or Vertigo, movies that are supposed to make you uncomfortable as a son of a gun, there would not be Seven. There would not be Memento. There would not be movies like that. So, bow down to the people that paved the way before you.
Agreed.
So, but I just want to say one more time in regards to the Firefly Funhouse. Called it. You can all thank me later. I was right. Believe in me. I will light the way. All you have to do is let me in. Dude.
Please tell me we have some other topics. I have a sheet full of topics here, and you're still putting yourself over.
I'm always putting myself over.
Oh.
That might.
That's why we're getting letters from Standards and Practices, because you spend an hour putting yourself over.
No, that's because I cussed a lot last week. Come on. No, seriously though, that might be the second greatest line I've ever heard. And not like just a line that's like, oh, that's good. Not like an inflammatory insult or anything like that. Second greatest line I've heard in a promo in the last 10 years. You know, I'll always like the way all you have to do is let me in. The other one is when Paul Heyman, I can't remember if Paul Heyman said it to Roman Reigns or John Cena or someone. You don't have to sell your soul to the devil because the devil sold his soul to me. I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And of course, it's Paul Heyman that says that. So, Of course, it's brilliant because, you know, I put myself over, but I'm nothing compared to, you know, the most high proper villain, and that is Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman, for proper villains like myself, Paul Heyman is our deity. He
duly noted.
Dude, me putting myself over and being a proper villain, yeah, I steal out of the Paul Heyman playbook daily. I just hope if I ever meet him and he sees my body of work, I can make him proud. Speaking of heels and their magnificent work, Heyman, Swafford, Owens.
Yeah. Kevin Owens putting that work in.
Sorry, about knocked the computer off.
We're gonna be flying solo for the next 5 minutes here while we iron out those technical difficulties. But
so we will be hearing Fandango's music.
Right.
Dude, KO after turning on the New Day. Dude, talk about that.
He's doing what we wondered if he would do. We wondered if this was just a one-off, but apparently he is taking the New Day veneer and he's just taking this layer off and taking this layer off. And now Big E's gone. He's on the shelf for a while. And you're going to beat down Xavier Woods every week. So it's really Kofi standing alone against this obvious challenge that Kevin Owens presents. And now let's see what you have.
Isolation.
Yeah. And, you know, last week him playing with the action figures because Xavier Woods wouldn't come out and be his guest on the show. So he takes the action figures out of his pocket and he kicks them out of the ring and stuff like that. And of course, finally, Kofi comes out and gets his shots in and stuff like that. And then Kevin Owens, like the proper heel, retreats into the crowd. No, I'm not ready for you to, take any shots from you yet. So what I wonder though is this a one-off for Kevin Owens, or does this have the chance to go into the summer ways where we get it with several quality matches out of it, maybe with some different stipulations or whatever? Nothing too crazy, but
right.
How long of an arc are we looking at here, do you think?
Truth be told, if it's now, again, I can't answer for anybody in Stamford, Connecticut. I can only answer if your boy Patrick Swafford at Rant Mode On is booking the whole thing.
Okay.
And trust me, if I were booking the whole thing, it'd probably be better. But
you got the counter. You got that counter.
No, that's not me. No, that's not me putting myself over. That's being honest.
Okay.
It would be better. You know it. I know it. The cat knows it. Hey, we have not had a Jenny sighting yet. I'm pointing that out. 25 minutes into the show, not a Jenny sighting yet. It's a record.
Whatever shall we do?
I know, right? Good Lord. I had a lot of people laughing their butts off about that, especially the little cat sound effect. Um, truth be told, I think we get Money in the Bank, and I think we get one more.
Okay.
And here's why: you got you got to build Kofi up as WWE champion. You can't just let him be a transitional champ, especially as much as the fans emotionally invested in that. Because let's be honest, that that probably was not supposed to happen. That is, when we got into the Royal Rumble, that's probably not what creative had in mind. And then Ali gets hurt, and fans rally behind Kofi. Kofi has that gauntlet match, and it's just like, oh my God.
The time is
Kofi,
right.
yeah. And it was just, it was the perfect storm.
And then
And
coming off of WrestleMania, you got it. I think Daniel Bryan is hurt too.
yeah,
I forget
I,
with what,
I
but
don't think Daniel Bryan's hurt. I think Daniel Bryan was just taking some time off.
okay. I
I
thought I
think
heard he was nursing a little nagging injury or something like that.
nagging, yes, but nothing like, DEFCON 1.
Okay.
To be a little crass, and this is as far as I'm trying to push it this week, Daniel Bryan wanted to go home, play with the baby, and remember, oh, by the way, I'm married to a Bella twin, which means I get to do other things with a Bella twin. How you doing? Hey, more power to him.
True.
But truth be told, I think you can't just take the title off Kofi. You can't do it.
I agree.
Because okay, now it's just a wet fart. All right, cool. We get so emotionally invested, and now Kofi's gonna lose a title in less than 30 days. Are you
Right.
kidding me? This is bull crap.
I mean, if they let it go all the way out to August and SummerSlam, he definitely deserves that.
Right, I think so too. But regardless, Kofi, champions are crowned just so champions can lose to the next guy. Kofi losing the title has to be something catastrophic. It either has to be to an unstoppable force. Like, even though I know he's on Raw, I'm throwing it out there. Drew McIntyre, just running roughshod
Okay.
over everybody. Andrade, running roughshod over. Sorry, I got a tickle in my throat. Running roughshod everybody. A build
Samoa
up.
Joe.
Samoa Joe. A build up to an amazing match between Kofi and Ali. Done. Or Kofi's defending against somebody. Yeah, we're not really thinking too much about it. This is going to be a great match. And then Big E screws over Kofi. Big E turns on Kofi. Kofi somehow wins the match. And now we get to SummerSlam. And it's now Kofi versus Big E. And your new WWE champion is Big E.
And then you got Xavier Woods caught in the middle, like, what do I do?
Exactly. And now,
Who do I
boys
who
and
do I
girls,
ride with?
right. And now, boys and girls, we have the feud of the year. Wow. Wow. It's like we're taking personal friendships and we're exploiting them for the good of the business.
It's like what they tried to do and failed to do with the Shield.
It's like what they tried to do and so epically succeeded with Gargano and Ciampa.
Right.
Yeah,
Because I get the feeling that's one of the WWE's biggest regrets now that John Moxley is no more. Dean Ambrose for the uninitiated.
Thank God.
I know, but I think that's one of their
overrated.
Yes, I think that's one of their regrets is that whole that could have been a lot more.
Oh my!
But
Oh,
and
so
for a
much.
lot of reasons it wasn't. We don't need to rehash those out right now. But if Big E were to come back and swerve Kofi, then you got Xavier caught in the middle, and it's a triangle now. Like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Kofi's like, I thought we were brothers, and Big E's like, no, I thought we were brothers, and all this other stuff. And so that angle could take you to the end of the year if you book it right. If
I
that's what they
absolutely
want to
agree.
do.
I absolutely agree. And also, what you could also do there, X tries to play peacemaker, tries and tries and tries and tries and tries, and fails and fails and fails and fails and fails. And then screw it. You guys won't see eye to eye. I hate both
I'm
of you.
I'm going into business for myself.
I'm
Okay.
going into business for myself. You could literally, just like it. Damn it, that's twice.
You need to get a counter for that. You need to
I'm,
calm
I,
down, sir.
yeah. You could literally, just like Money in the Bank a couple years ago. I think it was it was Money in the Bank a couple years ago. You could have all three members of the New Day holding the title in one night.
Okay.
Remember, Reigns dropped the title to Rollins, and then Dean cashed in on Rollins.
Yes.
You could essentially you could play this out all the way to next year into Money in the Bank. E beats Kofi. Kofi beats E for the title. Woods cashes in. Oh my God!
Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah, we've done that before. You know what? Do it again. It worked.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about wrestling. You have something that works. You can change the people around and do it again.
And if you do it smartly enough, it'll still feel fresh. It won't feel like a retread.
Exactly. Betrayal works so well in professional wrestling because people feel it.
Yeah.
There's a great TED talk on YouTube. Hey, I'm plugging YouTube, guys. Eric Bischoff is talking about how mainstream news media is stealing a page out of professional wrestling. Because mainstream news media right now doesn't want to tell you the news. They want you to feel something.
Right.
Professional wrestling wants you to feel something. He literally starts out cutting a heel promo on the town that he's in, Naperville, Illinois, and bashing people that live there. And then he's like, wait, okay. And then starts explaining it. And I watch it. It's like a 10, 15-minute video, and I'm thinking, that is freaking brilliant, man. And you're talking about Bischoff was one of the better creators of heat.
It makes me sorry I didn't put him in my top 10 list from April. Because I forget what a great mind he had, too.
Oh, yeah.
Still has.
Oh, yeah. Still does. He gets. See, the thing is with Bischoff doesn't get the credit that he should get, because a lot of the ideas that Bischoff ran with weren't his ideas.
True.
He took them from something else and put his own spin on it, like the NWO.
Or he was employed other people that had the ideas, so by default he was associated with them.
Right. So, because little known fact, Eric Bischoff did not come up with the idea for the Elimination Chamber. He's gone on record saying that it was actually Triple H's idea. Triple H wanted to do War Games. Vince wouldn't let him do 2 rings. So he came up with this idea, and because Bischoff had run WCW, he got Bischoff's input.
Okay.
How do we do War Games with 1 ring? He said, it wasn't my idea. I helped. It was Triple H's idea. And then Triple H has said the exact same thing. Yeah, my idea. Bischoff helped. I had the general idea. He helped me put a couple pieces in place, and boom. It wasn't like Dusty Rhodes in the middle of the night just sketches out War Games, and there we go. We're off and running.
Right.
So, but
you're gonna need to get my head examined, because it seems like all we're talking about tonight are heels. I don't know what's come over me. All we want to talk about are heels. Speaking of another heel that is starting to change my perception of her. I wonder if she's starting to change your perception, maybe just a little bit, because a couple weeks ago you were just writing her off left and right, and that's Lacey Evans. She's gradually peeling back the onion layers a little bit and letting you see a little bit more of what she's capable of. And I wonder what your take on what she's doing right now is. You are flexing, okay? You're not convinced yet.
Nope.
Okay. That's fine.
You want to know why?
Tell me why.
Still sucks in the ring. Still boring in the ring. And she doesn't make me hate her enough to overcompensate that. I.e., The Miz. The Miz sucks in the ring. But you know what? When he's a heel, I want him to die. Right now, this whole face thing he's doing, cool. I can get behind that because when he's a face, he's a fan. This is all I've ever wanted to do. You know, he gets to play off that passion like we were talking about last week when I fantasy booked Chad Gable. Miz plays off the passion of this is all I've ever wanted to do. People know me from the real world, cutting promos on the other people in that damn house. That's what he does when he's a face. And hey, we're getting back to that Bischoff thing. He makes people feel.
Yes.
You know what Lacey Evans makes me feel?
Oh, I think I could use a sandwich.
Exactly. Or
I wonder if there's any salami in the refrigerator. Let me go take a look.
I gotta take a crap.
Okay, I was just curious. I'll just check that off. Checking it off. There's no more reason to discuss any further then.
Show me more. Show me more than I can be a little bit devious and be that catty little Southern belle. Guess what, boys and girls? I've seen this movie before, and it was a shitload better when it was Shirley MacLaine and Steel Magnolias. There's your movie reference.
Mm.
You know, we used to do on our old show that we used to do on our old podcast, Audibly Offensive Radio. We used to do a segment called Done, Not Done. We'd have two different things. One that we were just absolutely just make it stop, and another one we wanted to see more of. I'm not done or not done with anything Lacey Evans. I'm simply Nothing about her impresses me. I'm going to be a little bit of a guy here. Nothing about her impresses me except everything from the neck down. Sorry. She's quite attractive. She's got an amazing figure on her. But as far as being a professional wrestler, F this whole sports entertainment thing, She's a Randy Orton promo.
Well, that just about sums it up. Okay. Okay, we don't have to talk about Lacey anymore. We can move on to something else.
No, your thoughts. Point counterpoint like we always do.
No, my counterpoint is I think this might be by design. Maybe creative understands, okay, she's not quite that seasoned in the ring yet, so we're not going to give you that just yet. We are going to build up to an event like Money in the Bank where we've already mentioned that Becky Lynch is going to be defending both of her women's championships, the Raw and SmackDown. She's defending the Raw belt against Lacey Evans. She's defending the SmackDown title against Charlotte.
The Becky Charlotte match has to go first. It has to go first. So the thing is, if you're trying to build Lacey Evans up, which clearly they are, nobody in their right bleeping mind thinks that Lacey Evans at 100% versus Becky Lynch at 100%. Lacey's got a shot in hell. Right. I got a better chance of getting Scarlett Johansson to say yes to having a little fun with me and the bride-to-be. Which, yeah, that ain't happening. Ever. Mainly because the bride-to-be will shoot that crap down real quick. She's like, I don't share. Anyway, moving right
Okay,
along.
we're off the rails a little bit. Let's go
Oh,
back to.
first off, when are we not off the rails?
Well, I'm doing my part as the
All right,
as the brakeman of this train to
here
try
we
to
go.
get it back on the
Here
tracks
we
here.
go. We're back here.
Okay,
Anyway, anyway,
you could make the argument that this is good heel work from Lacey Evans.
it
You've
is.
said you want to see her in the ring, and we're not giving you that. All we're getting is sneak attacks. We're getting a little promo on the
This is
ramp. We're getting
different.
a little sachet,
This
and
is different.
it's gonna build up to a match, which I will agree with you. She had better acquit herself. Well, I'm not saying win the championship off of her because
No,
it's way too soon for that. But it better not be a 1 minute squash match. It better
hey,
be
Brian,
10, 11 minutes.
Brian,
Yes.
you know what? Here's my biggest fear. You know what I'm afraid this is going to be? One word. Lana. Lana's very first match was a very first match in the ring was for the title against Naomi. And Lana looked about as uncoordinated as I do after way too much tequila.
I think you're selling Lacey Evans short
I
because
probably
don't
am.
forget, you and I have both seen Lacey Evans in the ring
Yeah,
live. And
yeah.
to be fair, it was against Nikki Cross and she got her doors blown off. But Lacey's got a better skill set than Lana.
Oh, I have a better skill set than Lana. I mean, dude, wait, dude, this gun show right here proves.
Sun's out, guns out. Yes, we know.
First off, I'm wearing the sleeveless today because I have yet to install the window unit here in the living room. So it's about 130 degrees in this son of a gun right now. So I'll put it to you this way. There's also a reason I'm not going to stand up while this show is being recorded right now. I promise I am wearing something. We'll just leave it at that. The more you know.
Okay. All right. Well,
And
I
Brian's
I
like,
can't
and this is the last show I'm ever doing with this
I can't compete with any of this. So to sum it up, I hope that we get something from Lacey Evans that we haven't seen yet. I'm not saying a title win. I would like a compelling match, and you see this theme with me. I don't want a one and done sort of situation here. I think, maybe Lacey impresses Becky Lynch with how she's able to hang with her, and then she's granted a rematch or something like that. This could go a couple of months. Now, there are other women that need a title shot, that we're not just going to have Lacey Evans ad nauseum until after the 34th title match she finally wins. But I would present to you that this is good heel work from Lacey because you want to see me wrestle. I'm not going to give you that yet. I'm going to continue to sneak attack and denigrate and do all this other stuff until I get what I want. Yes, I see the cat. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jenny.
Okay. So that's my thing of it. I kind of like it's a gradual build. It's a slow, methodical build up to a point, and then we need to see what happens in the ring. And I'll reserve judgment until then.
Right. I'm the same way, but at the same time, I guess me kind of being the jaded wrestling fan to a degree. I've seen this. I know this song. So.
And not everybody can be the next big thing. I get that. I get you're gonna have a lot more misses than hits. So.
Right. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but.
You know me, ever hopeful. I want to take every storyline they have going and turn it into gold, and you can't do that.
Right. I hope I'm wrong, but if I'm not wrong, I'm not going to be surprised. Now, I will tell you right now, because I'm, as I always do when we're having these discussions, I like background noise in the house and everything else. And I'm generally usually watching wrestling on the TV. And you want to talk about feeling something? WrestleMania 20, when you see Benoit and Eddie Guerrero celebrating in the ring together.
That was a goosebump, spine-chilling moment.
Absolutely, man. It's just like, yep, that's that right there, man.
Yes.
That is the good stuff. That is what we as wrestling fans live for. Yeah, yeah. One of probably a handful of times I legitimately cried, happy cried. Well, no, not even happy cried, just legit cried during
Right.
wrestling. That, Owen Hart's passing, Edge retiring, Eddie Guerrero dying.
Mm-hmm. Those have
Yeah,
all been tough. And for me, and you were there when this happened, when Taker lost to Reigns a couple of years ago.
yeah.
And just the way that was presented, there were a lot of people in our assemblage.
Beautiful.
Yeah, there were a lot of people in our assembly that were, getting really emotional about it. So,
Yeah,
um, the
beautiful.
next thing I'd like to talk about, if you don't mind, mentioned it a time or two, there is a pay-per-view coming up that
Money,
involves
money, 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 money,
it
money.
involves a ladder, it involves a briefcase suspended right up yonder. And you climb that ladder, you grab that briefcase, and what you get is you get the opportunity to cash in a title shot anytime over the next calendar year.
I love, love, love the fact that it's now the pay per view right after WrestleMania. I love it and I hate it. You know why?
Why?
Now we get to WrestleMania, we know it's coming. It kind
Well,
of
that's
kind of
true.
spoils the surprise.
Yes.
If we have it if we still have it in June or July, like we have in the past,
There's that doubt.
there's that doubt.
Right.
So now it's more of a they got to cash it in tonight. Like somebody wins the title at Money. I'm sorry, wins the briefcase at Money in the Bank. They're gonna cash it in tonight. Are they gonna be like Alexa Bliss and literally have the briefcase for 2 hours?
Right.
So it's kind of a bummer, but at the same time, it takes away from the well, it'd be so cool to be able to cash in at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Because truth be told, you've had one WrestleMania cash in, and that was just damn near perfect.
Yes.
Rollins at 31 was just like
The heist of the century, as Michael Cole called it.
Cole called it, or as I called it in your house. Oh, that's bleep 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 bleeping brilliant. Oh my! Everybody in
Never
that
saw it coming.
everybody in that living room that he's sitting in was pissed. I'm laughing my ass off because I was like, "Oh man, that's awesome."
Was
No, it's
I
not.
was
I'm
I
like,
angry too?
"Oh, you were furious."
Because I was Team Reigns, wasn't I? I was
Team
like, yeah,
Reigns.
Roman's got to do it. We got to, come on,
You
you got to, and then out
you
comes Seth
were
Rollins.
Team
And I'm like, what are
Reigns,
you doing here?
and I was just like, "Ah, that's awesome." It's that it's that swerve that's
Yeah,
just like, "Yep, you didn't see this coming. Gotcha."
because you all rocked me to sleep. I forgot you had the stupid briefcase.
Hey, left, 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 left.
Yeah. So I have a little exercise that I think we need to participate in. I
Oh.
am going
Hey,
to
whoa, 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 whoa,
present
whoa. Hey, we're
what?
over 40. We don't need to be exercising that much. And besides, it's past 10 o'clock at night. I mean, I
It's
don't
a mental exercise, sir.
think about who you're talking to.
I know I'm preparing you for it. I understand who I'm talking to. I know
Okay.
full well who I'm talking to. What I am going to do for you right now, good sir, is I'm going to present to you the lineup for this year's Money in the Bank men's match. We're not going to dive into the women this week. We might do that next week. I'm
Okay.
going to present the lineup to you, and I want your opinion on this first before I give you mine.
All right.
I'm going to name the 8 guys that they've selected to be part of this match.
Okay.
You're going to tell lineup as it's constructed or whether you would make any changes, because I have some changes that I would like to see made. They won't be made, I know that, but here we go.
All
The
righty.
lineup is currently constructed, and I'm going to put my notes right in front of me here. From the Raw side, you have Braun Strowman,
Okay.
you have Baron Corbin,
Okay.
you have Drew McIntyre and
Okay.
Ricochet.
Okay.
And from the SmackDown side, you have Mustafa Ali, you have Finn Balor, you have Randy Orton, and you have Andrade. Those are your 8 participants in this year's Money in the Bank men's lineup?
I can think of a couple people I would remove.
What say you?
Let's see. Let's go through them again. On the Raw side, we have Drew, Strowman, Ricochet, and who else?
Corbin.
Corbin, we keep. Why? Nobody's more hateable on that roster than Corbin. I don't like him. I think he's kind of dull in the ring, although his finisher is sick. Love End of Days. But he kind of blows. But people hate him. McIntyre.
Like this guy. I hate him.
Yeah. McIntyre. Oh, you freaking keep that son of a gun. McIntyre is a 5-tool player. He's Mike Trout. He's Bryce Harper. He's everything you want. Looks like $1 million and can kick the crap out of anybody. Hell yes, you keep McIntyre. Ricochet, keep him. You got to have that high spot guy. You got to have, like Shelton Benjamin in every Money in the Bank for the first four WrestleManias. You got to have Shelton. You got to have that eye pop thing. You got to have Ricochet going off the ladder with a double moonsault or the 630 senton, or Ricochet will give you that highlight. He'll give you your highlight reel. Kind of like when they put in that tag team that tag team ladder match. Once it was like Usos and a couple other guys with the Lucha Dragons, and Kalisto did the Salida del Sol, and him and one of the Usos went through a ladder. Like,
ridiculous.
Hell yes! You need that. Strowman, get him out the match. Cool. Big guy. I can do Hulk smash things with the ladder. I hate big guys in these matches. Hate them. Hate them. Because it's just, okay, another massive chunk of humanity just plodding around the ring and now plodding his big gigantic ass up the ladder. I don't like it because this is a match that's high paced because there's so many moving parts. And now you have an almost 7 foot, 400-pound behemoth slowing everything down literally.
Agreed.
So Strowman got to go. I don't know who I'd replace him with. I'm still thinking. Let's move to SmackDown. Andrade, you keep him. He's the future.
Okay.
Ali, you keep him. He's the future. And he can also give you eye-popping moments. I mean, okay, you're going to get an eye-popping moment, more than likely a Spanish fly off the ladder with Ricochet and Ali. And that's the wrestling fanboy equivalent of an orgasm. That's just, there you go. We're done. Take the pictures. We're done. Sorry. Hey, and I'm not trying to be crass there. I'm being legitimate. That's like, oh God.
Okay.
That's when you stand up out of your couch and you freak out and you're like, holy bleep. So Andrade still there. Ali still there. Who's the other guy except Randy Orton? Balor. You got to keep Balor. You got to keep Balor. Here's the problem. I hate Intercontinental Champions being in the Money in the Bank. Why? They never
because
win.
Know they're not going to win, yeah.
Exactly. They're never going to win. Which leaves Randy Orton. Boring.
So I know. No. Okay.
That's a hard no. I know who I replace him with on the SmackDown side because no man is truly good and no man is ever truly evil. Aleister Black.
Okay.
I think it's a case of the new guys. With the veteran on that side literally being Finn Balor. I don't know because Aleister can be heel or face. We're not really sure what he is. You got to have.
You can walk that line.
Right. You got to have from when we're doing Raw and SmackDown. You got to have 2 and 2. two heels, two faces from both sides. So
Right.
that means on Raw, you got to replace Strowman with another face. And I don't know who that is. Because truth be told, the one guy I'd say, yeah, throw him in there, he's the Universal Champion right now. So
Yeah.
you kind of can't. So that one right there is the silhouette of somebody to be determined. So that's what I got. How about you, bud?
To be fair, I didn't think about balancing heels and faces. I know from a booking standpoint, you want to do that
Right.
because you want to give equal time to both sides.
That's why I'm better at this crap than you are.
I approach this from the standpoint of I want to have new faces, and I also want to use guys we already have for the purposes in which they need to be used. What a concept.
Shocker there.
Yeah. So here's my lineup.
All right.
Tell me whether you agree or not. From the Raw side, Ricochet's still in.
Yep.
For all the reasons we've talked about. Drew McIntyre is still in.
For all the reasons we talked about.
Yes. But bye-bye Braun Strowman.
Okay.
And bye-bye Baron Corbin. Because, yes, I know we love to hate him, but you can send Baron off to another feud with somebody. A lower card feud, because that's, in my opinion, that's all he's good for.
I just thought of who I put in instead of Strowman.
Who?
Miz.
That's been done to death too, I think. So I would not put him in.
Okay, but Miz as Money in the Bank. We haven't done that.
Yes, we have.
Oh yeah, we did. I forgot. Yeah, he cashed in on Orton.
And you had Angry Miz Girl.
Oh yeah, I forgot. How the hell could I have forgotten about Angry Miz Girl?
Score one for you, boy. Okay.
My bad.
Yeah. Anyway, in their place, Samoa Joe needs to go in because they are not using Samoa Joe properly at all.
But
this is a way. I'm not saying to have him win the match. I haven't thought about who I want to win it yet.
Because truth be told, Joe going in is about the same as Balor going in. Yeah, Balor's Intercontinental champ. Joe is U.S. champ. It's the same thing to me.
Joe can move like a gazelle a lot more than Strowman could. So Strowman's out, Joe's in. This one's going to surprise you. Because he's the guy who has come back recently and all he's really done is a lot of talking.
Okay.
Sami Zayn.
Oh, God, yeah.
We need to start using Sami Zayn to his potential. And if all you do is give him a microphone and let him go out and badmouth the city that we're in and talk about how you'd rather be hiking in the mountains and, drinking spring water from a river in Tunisia or wherever he was talking about, that's probably wrong.
And telling everyone that you can all go to hell.
Yes, let's get back to wrestling because Sami Zayn, might I remind all of you people out there in Wrestling with Egos land, is a really, really good wrestler, by the way.
Yeah.
So that's my Raw side. Doesn't quite balance out heels and faces, but as I said, I didn't think about that.
You didn't think of the minutia of the plan.
Exactly. Nice word, by the way. On the SmackDown side, Andrade is still in for the reasons we've talked about. Ali is still in for the reasons we've talked about. But Randy Orton can go off and we'll put him in something else.
For the reasons we talked about.
Yes. And I don't like Finn Balor in this match either. Finn Balor should be taking that Intercontinental Championship and running with it. He should be having 4- and 5-star matches with guys. And think about what him and Aleister Black could do together. Just a perfect example. They could have a 6-month, story arc off here on the side.
So you're literally taking out Randy Orton and your boy.
Yes, because my boy is the Intercontinental Champion right now, and that belt isn't well utilized if you've got him in a Money in the Bank. Because like you said, that almost guarantees he's not going to have a chance to win it. Or be considered to win it. Going back to using this talent that you already have, by the way, you're not really using them very well. Taking the place of Randy Orton and Finn Balor in this match, Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev. Let's split that tag team up because it's really not doing anything for anybody. I know you weaken the tag team division a little bit, but that's another story for another time. Let's let Nakamura be Nakamura again, and let's Rusev be Rusev again. Let's see what they can do. That's
So
kind
then,
of what I'm using this match to do, is build
okay,
up these new guys and utilize the guys I already have properly.
a couple other guys as honorable mentions to throw in there: Cedric Alexander, Buddy Murphy.
Agreed and agreed. I actually thought about doing Cedric, but I just like the idea of getting Rusev and Nakamura off the tag team thing, and less Lana the better, and let's just go wrestle.
Right,
What a concept. Let's just go
right.
wrestle.
Speaking of Cedric Alexander, foreshadowing.
Okay.
We'll get to it in a little bit.
Okay, I think I might know where you're going with that, but
what you got next?
well, it's time for you to hand in your homework, is what I have next.
Oh, well, here we go. Here we go. Passing my papers to the front of the class.
Oh, this is some fine work here, Mr.
With my,
Swafford.
with my crappy handwriting. Dude,
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
I am so glad you were never one of my teachers in school, for the simple fact that you would have failed me just on my penmanship.
That's not what we grade people on.
I know.
I have kids that have horrible handwriting, but I make it work. And plus, we do a lot of stuff on the Chromebooks now, so it's fine.
Well,
homework.
But Brian, I'm 40, and some of your kids, keep in mind, Brian teaches English as a second language to kids. So
True story.
So Brian teaches kids who don't really speak the greatest of English, and I guarantee you their penmanship is better than mine. And I'm Javier, whose parents came into America from
Spain.
Ecuador. From Ecuador. Javier's got better handwriting than me. Javier still has trouble with the correct uses of there, and there, but at least Mr. Brian can read Javier's handwriting, where his best friend is just like, dude, really, your handwriting blows. True story. Anyway, Professor Brian, since this is homework between us, this is a college class, because it's all about the heel 401. What was refresh our class? What was the assignment?
The assignment that Mr. Swafford had to complete for this week comes to us from the pay-per-view that he just had playing in the background, WrestleMania 20, going back to the year 2004. And it was a fine match for the WWE Championship between Kurt Angle and Eddie Guerrero. And Guerrero came into this match as the champion. He had won the belt at No Way Out from Brock Lesnar the month before, when Lesnar was on his way out of the company back then. And Kurt Angle, you're a disgrace as champion. I can't believe you.
You're a drug addict, and you're a criminal, and
yes,
you've been to jail, and
So I'm interested to hear your thoughts about start to finish Angle versus Guerrero for the championship.
Well, we got to rewind. We got to rewind to the night after No Way Out, where Eddie had his championship celebration. Well, 2 nights after No Way Out, because it was SmackDown.
Yes.
And Eddie's championship celebration, Viva la Raza. And this is a guy who most people knew, yeah, Eddie had his demons in the past. Eddie beat them. Eddie's living a clean life now. He's found God. He is a much better person now than he was, say, in WCW when he did do jail time and had that horrific wreck that almost killed him. And then comes to WWE and dislocates his elbow on SmackDown, which that was gross. This is an Eddie Guerrero that we saw persevere. This is something that we as human beings admire, because you're still standing. People like people that have fought back their demons, no matter what those demons are. I can speak to that personally, dealing with depression. Still standing is the victory. You know, people in wrestling have used this phrase, I smell like smoke because I've been through fire. Eddie Guerrero reeked of smoke. So when
everybody likes the redemption story.
Hell yes. Preach. But when Angle's going through that gimmick, you're an addict. You're this. You don't deserve to be champion. I'm going to take the title from you and be a champion that we can all be proud of because I won an Olympic gold medal. I love that heel angle as opposed to I won an Olympic gold medal with a broken friggin' neck. This angle was an elitist, not a tongue-in-cheek elitist. He was an elitist. He was an ass.
Rubbing your face in it.
Very much so. Don't get me wrong, Kurt Angle, a G, like one of the greatest. And then you get to the match. And it was a tale of two things. It was both guys doing what they do better than anybody else. Kurt Angle literally took a page out of the Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson playbook. Work on a body part and keep working on it. He worked on his core. He worked on his ankle. He set up the ankle lock. He had him in a couple of different moves that attacked his midsection. Body scissors, an abdominal stretch. It was just a clinic. And then Eddie mixed in a lot of nuances of lucha libre. Fast-paced, being able to, pick up the tempo in the match. And then that Eddie Guerrero trademark of I lie, I cheat, and I steal. If you've never seen the match, I'm about to spoil it for you. Angle's got Eddie in the ankle lock. And he's in there. It's in deep. And he's got it on there for a while. And Eddie gets to the ropes and Kurt Angle breaks. While Angle's arguing with the ref about the break, Eddie starts loosening his boot up. Or no. Sorry. Eddie kicks Kurt out of the ring. Then breaks the ankle lock. And he starts loosening his boot up, trying to relieve the pressure. And as he's doing it, Kurt Angle stands up. And you literally can see Eddie Guerrero say, sorry, I'm going to cuss here, oh shit. You literally can read Eddie Guerrero's lips when he says that. Angle slides under the bottom rope really quickly, slaps on the ankle lock again. Keep in mind, Eddie Guerrero's boot has been untied. Eddie Guerrero kicks the boot off. Angle now has the boot in his hands, thinking, what the hell? Slams the boot down, turns around. Eddie Guerrero grabs him, rolls him up, and grabs onto the ropes and secures the pin. I lie, I cheat, I steal, but I win. You've made me watch better matches. You haven't made me watch better storytelling. That was it was good to see that. Not because I had forgotten how good Kurt Angle was. You can't really forget how good Kurt Angle was. I forgot how good Eddie was.
Yeah.
Eddie was one of those guys, face or heel, could make you feel. He elicited an emotion out of you. And I was like, yeah, I forgot how good he was at that. Damn, I forgot how good he was at that. And then you get the whole ending of WrestleMania 20 with him and Benoit and the confetti, and both them dudes are crying because here's two guys that, Mexico, Japan, England, Germany, ECW, WCW, the Radicals, everything in WWE. And we're here at Madison Square Garden, and we both got titles. That's like WrestleMania ending, and you're the Universal Champ, and I'm the WWE Champ. Hey, and for the record, even though WWE holds the Universal Championship in higher regard now, I would totally let you have that one. You know why?
Oh, thanks.
You know why? I want the
Why?
WWE Championship. I want the one with the legacy.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm not going to lie about that. I'd much rather have the WWE Championship. You can be the fifth or sixth guy to hold the Universal Championship with names like KO and Finn Balor and Brock Lesnar and Rollins. I'll be the dude that has the belt that have been held by guys like
Bruno Sammartino,
Bruno, Hogan, Savage, Flair, Warrior, Slaughter, Hart, Shawn. I can keep going. It's a solid A-.
Agreed. It's because it's like I put on the site last week. You know, I got to thinking matches with his retirement recently, and that one sticks out for me more than any other. Even the one with Lesnar at 22.
You mean 19, where Lesnar
19. I went the wrong way. Yeah.
When Lesnar tried to kill himself.
That for me, the match with Eddie, that's the one I always go back to. I go back to that one with him, and I go back to the one with Shane at King of the Ring, which is one of my favorite matches of all time.
As far as angle matches, those two are in my. As far as WWE is concerned, those are two of my top three angle matches in WWE. The other one being Angle and Shawn at 22.
Yeah, that was epic also.
No, it was Angle and Shawn at 21.
Yes, you're right, because that was the WrestleMania Goes Hollywood.
Yeah, Angle Shawn at 21.
Yeah.
Damn. That was the show stealer. So yeah, A-. Are you ready for yours?
I got my
pen in hand, boys.
Pen in hand.
Pen in hand. Well,
I even wrote down the Eric Bischoff TED Talk because I do need to go find that and watch it.
Yeah, you do.
So
it's really good. It's really good. It's like I said, it's 15 minutes. It's solid. I've been watching a lot of stuff on the network over the last couple days, and I had a lot of ideas because I was like, you know what, I want to get away from ECW for a little bit, even though I told him that we were going to explore that a little bit more. And I have an ECW match I'm going to give you next time around. But I saw a match yesterday that changed my mind. And I'm actually watching a match right now as we speak that almost changed my mind again. You almost got Eddie and Ray at WrestleMania 21.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
That's a very good one. I almost also gave you the main event in its entirety of ECW's very first pay-per-view, Barely Legal. Spoiler, that is your next homework assignment. I'm giving you time to prep for that one. I'm giving you your next two.
That one I've seen before.
That one's amazing.
The three-way dance. Yeah, I've seen that one.
Three-way dance that leads into the championship match. The whole thing.
Yep.
Whole thing.
Okay.
So 4 different wrestlers involved. I'm giving you plenty of time. That is your homework assignment essentially in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Tonight, for this week's episode on May 2nd, 2019, we foreshadowed a little bit mentioning a certain Cedric Alexander. I take you back to the Cruiserweight Classic and the match that got him signed. Quarterfinals of the Cruiserweight Classic against Kota Ibushi, the now IWGP Intercontinental Champion. Kota Ibushi, Cedric Alexander, quarterfinals of the WWE Cruiserweight Classic.
2017?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Um, it's literally on like special features on the network. You don't have to go into a year.
Okay.
It's like on like network exclusives and stuff like that. Um, and as always, we talk about wine. This is a homework assignment. This is just a great effing match. Holy crap balls. Um, Cedric Alexander went into this tournament an unknown. One of the most underrated people in this tournament. I mean, he was one of him and Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali was a bleeping alternate going into this son of a gun. Alexander was a who? Never heard of
Yeah.
this guy. All they can talk about is how Cedric Alexander cut 30 pounds to get into this damn tournament. And has one of the most fun matches I've seen in years with a Japanese legend like Kota Ibushi. And I say legend like he's some old guy. I mean, Ibushi's not even mid-30s. He might be mid-30s. Kazuchika Okada is older than Kota Ibushi. And Okada's the man in Japan right now. This is just a damn good match. Of all the matches in the Cruiserweight Classic, this is the best. You know, one of the three best. That one, Ibushi and TJ Perkins in the semifinals, and in the first round, Gargano Ciampa. It goes 15. It's 15 minutes of wrestling. You know how I like to try and find that line for you for the website, right?
Yes.
Here you go. This is 15 minutes of wrestling your life is not complete without.
There's a statement.
It's not the greatest thing you'll ever see. It's pretty damn good. But if you like professional wrestling, not gimmicks, not sports entertainment, if you like bell to bell, a great match. Cedric Alexander, Kota Ibushi. It's you know how people say, "Oh, it's X amount of minutes I'll never get back." Your life isn't. Your life
Right.
as a wrestling fan isn't
As
complete
whole as it could be if
as
I'm not
whole as it could
watching
be
this match.
without seeing this. Because this is just like, yep, this is what it's supposed to look like. So I was thinking while we've also been doing this show, because we are running, we can talk about Money in the Bank for the next couple of weeks, getting ready for the pay-per-view. We've also got AEW's Double or Nothing coming up, which we're going to devote a show to either next week or the week after. I propose something to you, Brian. Not necessarily homework,
Okay.
but a list for next week. I want from you just because I'll do the same thing. Just
Okay.
something for our audience. 5 wrestling matches you need to see. You know how, and Brian helped me out with this a couple weeks ago. I have a friend of mine named Bree. She goes to my church. Awesome, awesome girl. Bree asked me a few weeks ago, "Hey, I know you're a movie buff. Can you give me a list of movies I need to see before I die?"
And you and I spent like the better part of 45 minutes just spouting off.
Oh God, yes. And I gave her the list. She was like, "Whoa, I have not seen a lot of these. I have work to do." I'm like, "Yes, ma'am, you do." She's powering through it, by the way.
Okay.
Oh
Good to
yeah,
hear.
she's loving it. Give me 5 matches you need. 5 matches we all need to see before we die.
And actually, it's good that you bring this up because
You
you,
dying?
sir, no, no.
I get your car, right?
Mercifully, no. We're still, knock on wood, table I'm sitting at, we're still in very good health, you know. But
I don't
you,
have wood, but I
sir,
got a hard head, so close enough.
are on the hook for the May top 10 list sure to go wrong. So we could fold this into the top 10 list for May if you wanted to.
Oh, I forgot the top 10 list sure to go wrong.
Yeah. So we could do that. We could just make it a joint. Here's the 10 wrestling matches you need to see before, to understand why we are the way we are.
Right. Yeah. Let's do that. Your
Okay.
5, my 5, there's our top 10.
Perfect.
We will create the 10 matches you need to see before you die.
That y'all, the general public,
Y'all.
see.
Y'all need to see before you die. Now keep in mind, these could be 5-star classics. These could be just emotional roller coasters. These could be 1/4 star dumpster fires that are just so damn funny, you have to watch it because everybody loves a good train wreck.
Speaking of that.
Oh, God.
It was a hardcore match, and it was Road Dogg was on commentary, and it was Al Snow versus Big Boss Man.
Oh, sweet.
And the Roman Road Dogg's going to take this one on the road because it was in Minnesota, and they wound up in a bar. They already got a governor in this state. You can't don't glad hand. Just takes a crutch from a plant backstage. Oh, bless his heart, he's hobbling. That will not be on this list, by the way. But you said dumpster fire matches half star, and that one came to mind.
For the record, my dumpster fire half star Jesus. Oh my Lord, match, the Kennel from Hell.
Oh, that one was
the Kennel from Hell and the WCW Chamber of Horrors match with Abdullah the Butcher in the electric chair with the switch in the background already down. I remember watching that as a kid going, wait a minute.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah. First off, the switch is on the side of a steel cage, and Cactus Jack is hanging from said steel cage while holding the switch. Shouldn't Jack be roadkill too? We just learned about electricity in school, and I'm like, wait a minute, that thing's a conductor.
Right.
Wait a minute.
Suspension of disbelief.
I didn't know about suspension of disbelief then. I was just like, what is it? However old I was then translates to 40-year-old me now going, what in fresh hell is this?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The dumpster fire list will be much, much later. After we've won over the people with the 10 matches you need to see, then it's a dumpster fire list. We can do that in like October.
We're doing that in 2 weeks.
No, we'll save that for later. We're not.
Killing me.
Because it's. Let's just. We'll keep that in our back pockets here.
Ruining my fun. You're ruining my fun.
Well,
well, let's go ahead and get out of here because we've been doing this for an hour and a half. This is literally going to be the longest show we've ever done. They just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm like, my computer.
It doesn't feel like an hour and a half.
I know, right? But the sad thing is, my computer already takes like 5 hours to raster this thing through Premiere Pro. So I'm just like, oh my God, I'm going to blow this thing up in a couple of weeks. Just like, and this, hey, yeah, it's got a 2nd gen Core i5. But
why do you guys have a 46-second show this week? Well,
well, about that.
That's the highlights.
Yeah, I know, yeah. But yeah, our highlights will have the theme song to Benny Hill in the background. Anyway, moving right along. Let's go ahead and get out of here because it's late and I want to go to bed. And there is, however, an air conditioning unit upstairs, which just happens to be right next to my side of the bed, and that sounds like a great idea right now. Because
that sounds like winning.
It's hotter than a son of a gun down here.
Okay. Well, then I think we should, on that note, we should thank the people for watching, thank the people for communicating to us. I want to send a
And
personal
go ahead.
shout out to uh, my friend Chrissy, who's spreading the word to her family back down in the big old state of Texas. Uh, some of her
Tejas.
some of her wrestling fan family back down there from her home state. That's all we ask of the folks out there. We want you to share the gospel of wrestling with
Oh,
egos.
I wouldn't look. You're Catholic. I'm non-denominational. There's no way in fresh hell I'd ever call this thing gospel.
It
This is
just
more
came out. What can I say?
Necronomicon, maybe the Book of the Dead. Yeah, but in all seriousness, um, word of mouth is gonna what helps us. You mentioned your friend. I want to mention my friend. I want to mention my friend and also member of the Audibly Offensive Radio family, Chris Turner up in Minneapolis, who's doing the same thing. Went to an NXT show with some friends of hers the other night up in Minneapolis, and was like, "Hey, my buddy from back home that I used to work with is doing a YouTube show. Him and his buddy Brian, and it's pretty damn good. You guys ought to check it out."
Well, thank you,
And
Chris.
and we got more subscribers because of that. So to Chris, I simply say two things: thank you much, and War Eagle.
War Eagle.
War Eagle. So thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian. I will point out Brian once did watch a Auburn game with me at a bar. It was the Sugar Bowl a couple years ago. I was doing a lot of that because little did I know your boy was coming down with the flu. Yeah, that sucked. Game got he wore an Auburn hat. Props to him on that one. Mainly because I told him.
Photographic evidence too. So.
Yep, mainly because I told him he owed me for cheering for the Cubs in the World Series. And Auburn was getting the living crap beaten out of him at halftime, and I was like, I'm sick. I'm running a fever. I think I'm going home. I didn't go home. I went to Walmart first, got a whole lot of medicine, and then went home. I didn't go to work for 3 days because I was like, I'm going to die.
Yeah, that was a low point.
No, that was a low. No, that was not a low point. There were worse.
I know there were others.
There were much worse. But in terms of comedy sidekick, yeah, that was the low point. Yeah.
So on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. We can be found at Wrestling with Egos. We've still got the Google site at bit.ly/with egos where we dump all of our episodes into. And I'm reorganizing that a little bit as we speak, trying to make it flow a little bit better. We're going by month on this one now. And
you know what you're doing with that thing, I don't.
Yeah. And we're on Twitter. I'm at bkrego15, and he is at Rant Mode On, as always.
Rant
so that's
Mode On.
Exactly. And then you can always email the show too. You can always email the show too, wrestlingwithegos@gmail.com, because, hey, we want to hear from you how you think we're doing. You got an idea for a segment, an idea for a homework assignment, or just some constructive criticism for us. Maybe you think Brian waves his hands at the screen too much, like I'm doing right now. Let us know that. Because
Patrick fiddles around with too much stuff, like this red beaded necklace that one of the girls lost in between the couch cushions.
Okay,
see?
great.
Yeah, picked it up and started playing with it. Dude, this is what happens when you a real lesson, boys and girls. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder plus anxiety equals I fiddle around with crap. Someone should have got me one of those little fidget cubes.
Well, now anyway. I know what to get you for your birthday.
Golf clubs.
Right. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we want to thank you for watching. We want to thank you for listening. And I'll throw it over to you for the close, good sir.
Because, got to go to the righty for the closer. For myself, for my best friend in the entire world, that handsome bastard, two camera left. Yeah, that's how this is set up. Your camera left. My name's Patrick Swafford. That's Brian Kriego. We'll see you guys next week right here on Wrestling with Egos. And until then, as always, that's our story, and we're sticking to it. Hey, I didn't have to make a correction like I did last week. Woohoo!
That's progress.